We are in Indonesia, in the northern part of the island of Sumatra. These forests are the first boundaries of Gunung Leuser Park, one of the largest protected national parks of Indonesia. At over 8,000 square kilometers, many unique species are highly protected, with 3 parks listed as World Heritage Sites by UNESCO, and they are part of the program with support by Spain LifeWeb. At Medan, where the park management is, 25 people work permanently in the vast plan of the restoration supported by Spain-UNEP and UNESCO, a major device necessary to the conservation of animal species and the welfare of the local population.
So the restoration projects were a collaboration among Gunung Leuser National Park, UNESCO and Spain-UNEP. At first, the restoration activities were encroaching on illegal oil pine plantation. Then, with this project, which is 27 hectares wide, and with the help of the local population, we destroyed the illegal crops, and we planted trees taken directly from the park, such as meranti and soreas.
After a 3-hour drive, we enter the Gunung Leuser National Park, an area where hundreds of animal species, some in great danger, such as the Sumatran rhinoceros, tigers, and the charismatic orangutan, of which only a few species remain in this part of the world, here in Sumatra and Borneo. Tom is one of the park guides working with Spain UNESCO-UNEP project. All day, he surveys the thick forest to meet these great solitary apes.
So this is Orangutan in the national park. Is very important when there is orangutan, also local community. They also watch this and then they know how to love the jungle.
The conservation of the species is through the protection of its habitat. This dense forest that provides shelter and food is essential for its survival, and it is imperative to protect it. The Sumatran orangutan lives mainly in trees and can cover several kilometers a day in search of a site to build its nest. They live perched between 12 and 18 meters above ground and feed on fruits and bark, which requires a forest rich in trees. The joint project of Spain, UNEP and UNESCO also aims to help and support development projects such as ecotourism, like this eco-lodge located at the entrance of the park facilities for tourists. It's always in harmony with the environment. Here these visitors are allowed to help the animals take their bath.
Do you want to get wet?
These activities are a direct cash contribution to local communities and also help maintain remote logging activities. Moreover, these elephants are also transportation for the rangers who patrol day and night and provide surveillance and protection against wildlife poaching. Every night they find their rest area located here thanks to the conservation project.
Jadi gajah ini adalah salah satu potensi kami di Tanggahan.
These elephants are one of the favorite tourist attractions here in Tangkahan. The incomes generated by activities linked to elephants is benefiting local communities directly. So this is the best way to encourage people to protect nature and not to engage in illegal activities anymore.
Local people attracted by the lure of money generated by the business of palm oil dropped their traditional way of life. But today, thanks to tourism and an organic farming project, the mentality's changed and accelerated the return of this traditional culture.
This project has been recognized by local people to actually give them understanding and increasing the capacity building for the local people to start, cultivating organic farming, which can be actually improving the livelihood of the local people here. As you know, this area is ecotourism site, and people just depend on the tourism, but they don't really, grow their own vegetable or crops for their subsistence. So they just depend on the tourism, which is good. But then tourism is sometimes fragile with the security issue, and sometimes not many tourists coming here, so they can still do other things.
Largely curtailed by human exploitation and multinationals who with billions transform the vast forest areas reserved for the palm oil cultivation, the original habitat of the species and the biodiversity decreased in this part of the Indonesian archipelago. With the restoration project, the forest ecosystem is gradually regaining possession of the land. Every day, rare tree species regrow, and thus the first orangutans reappeared in this area of the park they had previously left.
Ini dulu kebun sawit PT Megah Puspa Lestari.
Before the beginning of the restoration plan, this land was an old plantation owned by a company called PT Megah Puspa Lestari. So at the time, in 2004, the only thing you could see here was all pine plantations. The position of the owner of the land was very unclear. We did not know if the land was owned by the company or Gunung Leuser National Park. And then in 2006, the park won the case, but the company still continued its activities on the land. Because of that, we decided that we had to start the restoration activities anyway. This was in 2008. Since then, 18,000 trees have been planted and we are continuing our restoration activities.
In a few years, this unique Indonesian forest, thanks to the partnership of Spain-UNEP and UNESCO, should have recovered its original appearance over several hundred square kilometers.